The Zach Ratliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Texas, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org. Welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show. Thanks for being with me today. Man, it's a beautiful day outside. Went deer hunting last night. I didn't kill anything. However, I enjoyed being there. It was great just to be outside. And then, honestly, I was going to go this morning, and I guess I was just worn out. Been busy, as all of us get. And I don't set an alarm usually ever. I just wake up. I just wake up when it's time to get up. So I didn't set an alarm to go to the woods. I just figured I'd wake up, and I didn't, which is, you know, not common really in my world. So I woke up late, surprised. I was like, well, I guess this is meant to be. So I just took a shower. Anyway, thank God for another day. Thank God for a beautiful day. It was 45 degrees when I walked out, 47 by the time I got to the studio, and then sun shining, going to be, 78. Perfect day. It almost feels like fall. And we know we'll get a couple of days of fall eventually before it gets uh, frigid here in my area. Now, and for those of you around the country, I don't know what fall is actually like. We get 2 or 3 days of it, and then it gets cold. So there it is. Like I said, it'll still be almost 80 today and all that. All right, let's jump in. And there's one announcement I've got for if you're in the Texarkana area on Thursday, the 23rd. Doc Pete Chambers will be at the Bowie County Patriots. He's running for governor of Texas. He's a gubernatorial candidate. He'll be at Big Jake's at 6 p.m. For the Bowie County Patriots meeting. So that's Doc Pete Chambers. If you want to meet someone who's running for governor, who has a different vision, be at the Patriots meeting, 6 p.m. Thursday the 23rd. That's Doc Pete Chambers. He'll be there. All right, let's jump into it. I've got some, honestly, as I was looking and reading articles, I thought, man, what is there to talk about? What is there to say that we haven't said? What is there to do that we haven't done? And then I pray about the show every day, and I just got into it. And so anyway, some of these articles, I think they really show where we are at the country, and it reminds us what we're fighting for. Right? We're fighting for the greatest country ever put on earth. We're fighting for our kids to have a future, to grow up like we did. We're better. And so that's the point. That's what we're doing. That's what we're in it for. We can't lose focus. We can't be beat down. We can't be discouraged, because there's hope. Now, our hope's name is Jesus Christ, if you don't know. All right, let's go to the ChristianPost.com. TheChristianPost.com. There's an article here, and I read it. And the title of the article, and side note, if you've got kids, they probably don't want to hear this part if they're young. So, I'll give you that. But the title of the article is, at what age is it morally permissible to kill the unborn? Right? And so then the article goes into, right, because that's the question around abortion, right? Oh, are you going to do it at 6 weeks? Are you going to do first trimester, second trimester, late term? And so that's what this article on the Christian Post says. The question is, of course, it says it illustrates an important point. No matter what, abortion is murder. Now, a lot of arguments can be made. Life of the mother, which is a rare one. Rape or incest. However, I know people that are here because of that and are great people. Okay, or had that and love their kids. Right, and look, thank God I've never had someone I love that I know of be in this situation of the rape or incest or whatever. So that's a tough deal. Now, let me say this. If you've made the decision to have an abortion in your life, I love you. God loves you. This is in no way meant to be a condemnation of you. Now, we're not going to celebrate it, but you're not destined to hell over it either. Any more than I'm destined to hell over my sins, right? I mean, and I'm not, because I'm freed and saved by Jesus Christ, and you can be too. Um, so there's freedom there. Now, it's not freedom just to go keep doing it. But anyway, the question that is asked here is, at what age is it morally permissible to kill the unborn? But here's always my question when talking about abortion. This is what I wanted to get to. My answer is, they're like, well, where do you stand on abortion? And this is my thing. This has been my thing. And I think I heard this from my dad years ago. Honestly, I don't think it's an original thought. You know what? Okay, I'm for it. But let's wait till the kid is 6 years old, and then let them know what we're going to do. Right? Hey, we weren't sure we wanted you, or it was just a party at one night and it got wild, and this just isn't working out. So I'm sorry, but tomorrow you got to go. No, no, no. You don't get a say in it. You're just a clump of cell. Right? What a wild thought that is. What a wild world that would be. Obviously, I'm not for that. Anyway, if anything, I just always want to give another way of looking at what's going on. All right, let's jump into some national politics. Well, before I do, let's go. We'll keep rolling. This is from Red Wave Press on X.com. Red Wave Press on X.com. Democrat Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is proposing a $21 per employee monthly tax on corporations. Do what? And I think there's a number there. I can't remember how many it is, but basically you're going to get charged $21 a month per employee to make up for their budget shortfall for 2026. Are you kidding me? Look, labor is already expensive. Labor is the most expensive part of most businesses. 90% of businesses is the labor. I don't know if it's 90%. I made that up. But the most expensive part of most businesses is labor. So now you want to add $21 a month? Well, that's just crazy. That's $250 a year per employee. So at 10 employees, you're at $2,500 a year. And then you can do the math from there. At 100 employees, you're at $25,000 a year. Extra let's say that they do it. Who's going to pay for that? Everything gets $21 more expensive per day or per month. All right, the companies don't just eat this. And that's the whole argument against the tariffs, right? Companies aren't just going to eat it. Now, in the tariff situation, they bring jobs back to the U.S., manufacture it here, everything's hunky-dory. But still, in what world does this work? Excuse me, I had that in my mouth. In what world does this work? Anyway, it's more the government wanting to control everything. And here's my question. Why don't we just stop spending? Why don't Chicago just stop spending? They have a $1.2 billion with a B budget shortfall for 2026. Cut some of the social programs. Make people go back to work. Turns out people don't want to go back to work, and I've got a clip on that coming up. It's just, eventually, the people that create jobs, they are more able to go other places than those that have to have jobs. Not that people that create jobs don't have to have them, but at some point you can say, "Hey, I'm going to close up my mechanic shop, here in wherever, and I'm going to go over one town over where it's business friendly. And if you're going to tax my income based off where I live, I'll sell my house and go over there. Right? Look at what's happening to California. Look at what's happening to New York. Look at what's happening to Illinois. They're moving to, Northwest Arkansas, Texas, Florida, the South, where there are more conservative principles around their money. Oh, here's that next one. This is from Chicago One Ray on X.com. He says, it says, unbelievable. This guy got an email from EBT and there's a video of him talking, telling him he has to work at least 20 hours a week if he wants to keep receiving his $740 a month in EBT for his two kids. 20 hours a week. I mean, all of you, because I know who my listener is for the most part, 20 hours a week, not a big deal. I mean, I'm 20 hours a week on this podcast by the time we're producing it and articles and all of that. Is that accurate? 4 hours a day? No, I'm probably not. I'm close, though. And this isn't a paid gig. and that's okay because I enjoy it and you all enjoy it. But this guy says, I'm not working for anybody. That's what the taxpayers are for. They work for me. And then he goes on to be like, why are we trying to blow this up? He's so entitled to your money that the government steals. He's saying he won't get a job. You want us to feel bad for him? And then how many generations of this? This is part of the New Deal, right? This is part of the Great Society. This was the plan. Create generations of people that depend on taxation of those that can. We've got the makers and the takers. Look, only 49% of the country pays taxes by the time people get their refunds and all that. Right? The top percent of wage earners pay 40% of the taxes. I'm talking about the top 1%. You can't keep taking and giving away to people that didn't earn it. That's not the way it's set up. That will crash the system. Of course, if that's what you want, then that's what you get. If that's what you want, then there you are. And where's the shame? Where's the shame in doing all this? Where's the shame in just counting out, hey, I'm not going to work. You're going to give me my money. I'm not giving you anything. The taxes you get are already stolen from my paycheck or stolen from me by the government. Right? Required with threat of prison. I give my money to my church. I give my money to charities. I'm not giving my money to the government. They're taking it from me. Man. All right, so then let's go to the dailybs.com. Dailybs.com. Huge, rabid mob attacks ICE in New York City. Turns city into a war zone. And then it's an article going on just about how people are fighting ICE and pounding on the windows of the cars and, just everything not good. Well, here's the deal on that. Do we not remember what happened after Hurricane Katrina? Do you remember the news being showing people looting all the stores? And I remember seeing a guy, knee deep or more in water, walking out of a store with a flat screen TV, right? And that's for they were $300. And thinking, what the world's going on here? and just the chaos that went. Who got sent in? The 82nd Airborne. You remember, it was a madhouse down there. Then all of a sudden, the media, whatnot, and I don't know what happened. I'm going to assume everything was done lawfully. But the 82nd Airborne drops in and establishes order. Next thing you know, that place is under control. That's what's coming. Trump putting the National Guard in right now to just guard federal agents, that's not an activation of the Insurrection Act. When the 82nd Airborne and the Marines drop in, it's going to be a whole nother game, and I'm here for it. You know, right now, our military is being very restrained. Rubber bullets or paintball guns, basically, gas canisters. They start putting lead down range, it's going to be a whole nother thing. And I'm not saying they're going to, but they're capable of much more. New Orleans and the 82nd Airborne are your example of how cleaned up it can get, how fast. Now, they didn't do neighborhood rebuilding, they didn't do all that. They established order. That's what's coming for Portland. That's what's coming for Seattle. That's what's coming for New York. That's what's coming for all of these places. If you keep pushing back against the National Guard too much, there will be an insurrection act. And they will, you know, I don't know that they'll put lead downrange, but you'll know they're there. They will not be as restrained as what's happening currently. And that's what's needed. Dad needs to come in and whip everybody. Neighbor's kid, cousins, everybody needs to get a whipping right now. That's where we are. Everybody gets a whipping. All right. Back to the dailybs.com. Jordan lowers the boom on John Brennan. Ex-CIA chief referred to the DOJ for criminal prosecution. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan has officially referred former CIA Director John Brennan to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution, citing significant evidence that Brennan lied under oath to Congress about his role in pushing the discredited Steele dossier during the 2016. And here's the deal. Oh, my mind just went blank. What's his name? Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon. This is what Steve Bannon went to jail for. John Brennan can also go to jail for the same thing. Let's don't act like there's not precedent here because the Democrats created it. And you keep seeing this in the news. Oh, the Republicans better be careful with this because then the Democrats are going to retaliate. The Democrats are going to be out to get them. Have you not been alive the last 10 years? Have you not seen what have you not seen what's happening? Or what has happened? Look at what they did to Donald Trump. Look at what they did to Steve Bannon. Look at what they did to Roger Stone. Look at what they did to General Flynn. Do we need to continue? I mean, they tried to do it to Bongino. Look at what they did. They tried to destroy every time. Look at what they did to Charlie Kirk. Assassinated. They've tried to assassinate Trump twice that we know of. They've tried to bankrupt him, bankrupt his family, end all their businesses, take their property. Right? We need to be worried? No. One of my buddy's dad said one time, street justice. But we don't necessarily want street justice. We just want real justice. And that's what we're after. You get so fired up. It's like, how do they keep saying these things? Okay, then here's this. This is the best thing of the day. Gavin Newsom on X.com. Ripping apart the White House just like he's ripping apart the Constitution. Then it has this picture of, machines tearing down the East Wing. How did they think a ballroom was going to get put in there? We've had swimming pools. We don't have swimming pools. We've had bowling alleys. I don't know if they still do. The White House is not some holy grail. It's not some sacred, something that we can't touch. Obama added a basketball court and maybe other things. He was there 2 terms. I don't know. It's a building. Presidents are allowed to change it. I mean, look at what all the Clintons took out of it when they left, reportedly. Right? It's amazing to me the Democrats find outrage in everything this man does. Every time. Oh, I can't believe he's doing this. Oh, da 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 da. And Donald Trump lives in their mind rent free. And it's amazing. It's amazing that he does. It's just an amazing thing. Anyway, everybody's outraged over this. All right, let's keep going. Oh, yeah, this is great too. George Stephanopoulos. Not to be confused with Snuffleupagus. Curtis Hawk on X.com, and then this George Stephanopoulos was on ABC interviewing the CEO of Walmart. And then it says, watch ABC's George Stephanopoulos tries to get Walmart's U.S. CEO to bash Trump and claim the economy's in a tailspin. Says CEO John Furner was not having any of it. Stephanopoulos tried to argue turkey prices are way up, but Furner replied, turkeys will be their lowest since 2019, and the price of their Thanksgiving basket will be, for it feeds 10 people, will be for $14 cheaper than it was last year. Stephanopoulos can go in and make stuff up. This guy runs the largest retailer in the world, possibly at least the largest retailer in the world. You don't think this guy knows his numbers? The Democrats make stuff up constantly and then tell us that we make stuff up. And then he goes on to question the guy, and Stephanopoulos keeps trying to, trap the guy, but you don't get to be CEO of Walmart accidentally, okay? And then he goes, Stephanopoulos tries to say, Walmart having to deal with this tariffs and they're hurting the economy. And the CEO says, hey, 2/3 of what we sell, quote, 2/3 of what we sell is either made, grown, or assembled in the United States. Says, and they currently have 7,000 items on Walmart's rollback pricing. He said, yeah, they're able to make it. It's not all doom and gloom like the mainstream media, like Snuffleupagus wants to tell us. It's just amazing. It's just amazing what they continually push down our throat. Every day. We're under attack every day. Our way of life is under attack every day. It's our job to be here and talk about it. We are no longer the silent majority. We just need to claim our spot as the majority and talk about it, but with kindness and with boldness. That's all I'm saying, everybody. Once again, Trump doesn't know what he's doing on the international stage. According, CNBC has this article: India is to cut Russian oil purchases. What? Why would they do that? Oh, and for them not buying oil from Russia, their tariffs are going to go down. So tariffs made them have to reconsider their alliance with Russia. Who would have saw that coming? Oh, that's right. So this is Washington may cut its tariffs on Indian exports to 15 to 16% from the current 50%. Yeah. This is the way. For all you Star Wars fans, this is the way. Golly, it gets all over me just how ridiculous these people are. All right, I've got another article, but it doesn't really matter. It's about Karine Jean-Pierre and her her book tour right now, and she's rated like 24,999 out of books sold on Amazon. And she's just continuing the lie of Biden. I guess once you're so far in, no need to no need to change direction now. I guess I don't know. Anyway, remember, no matter what, there is hope, and His name is Jesus Christ. He's the way, He's the truth, and He's the life. And no man will get to the Father without Him. I hope God blesses each and every one of you today. We'll be back tomorrow.